So, the implication for us is that we have to be mindful of whether or not we really are allowing our light to shine. We have to be mindful. It's not something that we can just assume people know. We have to be intentional on some levels in terms of our sharing the gospel. See, the implication here is that if they are disciples, that they're not just taking what it is that they are learning and understanding about God and keeping it to themselves, but whatever it is that they are garnering from the Lord, they should be putting it back out so that others might be affected in some way. If we're not taking that next active step, then the challenge is, are we truly a disciple? Because we don't see Jesus at any point in time walk throughout the text and keep who it is that he is, nor his authority, nor his control under wraps. We don't see him keep anything under wraps. He doesn't go into a town and y'all just keep it quiet, just trying to lay low. He doesn't do that. And if we're going to be like him, then we have a responsibility to make an impact. Saying yes to Jesus. Saying yes to Jesus. So in the scripture text, a man says, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus says, foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. We don't hear that man say anything else. So we can infer, based on the fact that we don't hear him say anything else, that he probably said, well, never mind. When what Jesus really wants us to say yes is yes. Because saying yes to him is saying yes. I will literally go wherever you go, even though I don't know where we're going. It means ceding over the control. It means ceding over the control. I'll go even though there's uncertainty in terms of where we're going. I'll go before you even tell me where we're going. That's some heavy trust. I don't even like to get in the car with a man unless you tell me where we're going. I want to know. What's the final destination? Don't have me sitting in the car guessing. No? I don't like surprise. Tell me where we're going. Yeah, you stay in the car because you're trying to figure out what's going on. So, let me read something to you. Ann Judson was a wife of America's first foreign missionary, Adoniram Judson. Adoniram was 24 when he decided to leave America and sail to Burma. Burma didn't have a single missionary and was an extremely hostile environment. He was in love with Ann, who was 23 at the time. Adoniram wanted to marry Ann and then move to Burma to spread the gospel. Before he married Ann, he wrote her father the following letter asking for her hand in marriage. I have now to ask whether you can consent to part with your daughter early next spring, to see her no more in this world. Whether you can consent to her departure and her subjection to the hardships and sufferings of missionary life. Whether you can consent to her exposure to the dangers of the ocean, to the fatal influence of the southern climate of India, to every kind of want and distress, to degradation, insult, persecution, and perhaps a violent death. Can you consent to all this for the sake of him who left his heavenly home and died for her and for you? For the sake of perishing immortal souls, for the sake of Zion and the glory of God. Can you consent to all this in hope of soon meeting your daughter in the world of glory with the crown of righteousness?
No.
That's heavy. No.
No.
That's heavy. That's heavy. That's a true response.
Right.
But here's the thing that we have to understand and garner this excerpt. That when you declare you're going to follow wherever, that literally is wherever. No matter what. No matter what's to come or what you face, you're saying you will follow wherever. If he says you're going to stay in the comfort of your house, great. But if he says you're going to go and you're going to walk the streets of the city to minister to the homeless at night, you go. This is a heavy sort of consideration here. I think the thing that the excerpt models for us is why. Why do you say wherever? Why do we say wherever? Why do we say wherever? What's the impact of following Jesus wherever? Okay, commitment. Anything else? Okay, so you might think there's something in it for you at the end. Anything else? The impact on the world. That's the guiding principle here, the guiding point in this excerpt. They're not going necessarily at the end, she'll be in the world of glory with the crown of righteousness. But the one thing that he keeps saying over and over again, can you consent to all this for the sake of him who left his heavenly home? So that Jesus' coming is not for naught. You understand? That it's not just something he did, but it actually has an impact on the life of others. Would you do it for the sake of those who are perishing themselves? Because you recognize that sin is taking hold, and if folks don't come to a knowledge of Jesus Christ, they will be lost. Would you commit to go wherever for the sake of Zion and for an opportunity of worshiping God with your whole self? I think what gets lost in terms of our conversation on discipleship is what the impact is, not just for us but for everybody else. We commit because we want to make sure that we're not the ones who are lost and nobody else gets lost either. You all realize we're going to go places that folks have never gone before. We're going to interact with people who may have never been interacted with before. God is calling us to be his hands. You all remember that's how we started the year off at Watch Night service, talking about being the hands of God. Because ultimately the direction for the disciples when he left was what? Go ye therefore. Don't just keep it to yourself. Don't just work on yourself. If you work on yourself so you can help somebody else. See, this is a foundational study to make sure that we're all on the same foundation going forward. Because everything we do is based off of our understanding of being a disciple. Would you do it? Would you surrender your whole self just so somebody else's life can be saved? Even if it means that you lose, even if it means that you lose.
He's thinking real time.
Here's what the woman says. I feel willing and expected, nothing in providence prevents, to spend my days in this world and heathen lands. Yes, Lydia, I have about come to the determination to give up all my comforts and enjoyments here, sacrifice my affection to relatives and friends, and go where God, in his providence, shall see fit to place me. No matter what. This is a challenge to our commitment. How committed are we? Because we say we're committed, but what we find is that when we find ourselves in a point of being challenged, most of us are going to give in to the challenge. The conversation I had with our 12 o'clock class today was that, guess what? You can't be a disciple totally and completely. You can't be a true disciple by just being 95% there. You can't be considered a disciple if you're 95% there and there's only 5% of yourself that still needs some work. You only get the title of disciple once you've made it to glory. Right now, we're striving for discipleship. We're striving to be disciples. Does that make sense? You can't be committed if there are portions of yourself that are uncommitted. Because it cancels itself out. You either are or you're not. There is no in between. It makes it difficult. But that's the challenge of discipleship. It's striving for something. Striving to please him in everything that you do. So, the impact of the declaration to follow, there's an impact on others. Here's a question. Anyone remember what we preached on Sunday? That's my man right there. Mark always know what we preached on Sunday. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. See it? Leaving a legacy. So this legacy thing, for whatever reason, keeps coming up. When I went back to read to prepare to teach to you all tonight, it came up. I was with Reverend Lassiter on Sunday night, almost around midnight at the VA. And our conversation was about legacy. I talked to a man today who is suffering with the loss of his mother. And the conversation for 30 minutes with somebody I only met one time was about legacy. The message the Lord has given me for Lincoln on Sunday for their church anniversary is about legacy. There's something about this thing, legacy, that we don't necessarily, I don't know if we haven't embraced, or maybe I just haven't embraced it. Maybe why the Lord keeps having folks to say something about it. Because what we do today affects those who are coming up behind us. The impact of saying yes to Jesus and truly meaning that when I say yes, I'm willing to go wherever it is that you send me. Makes a definite impact. And I'll tell you why. Because what we model today makes it easier for those who are coming behind us to recognize what a disciple actually looks like. Some of the difficulty we face today, no disrespect to anybody, is based on the fact that what was modeled for us before was not discipleship. We are limited in terms of our understanding. And the commitment we make today is meant to bring others closer and closer to Him. It's the same sort of theory. There's this book, it's entitled The Shape of the River. And it's a book, it's a higher education book. It's a book that is a longitudinal study, basically just happens over a long period of time, okay? It's a study that happens over a long period of time when they take these young kids from different backgrounds. Some of their parents have been to college, some of their parents have not been to college. And what they find as they go throughout the study is those students whose parents have been to college, when they get to college, they do exceedingly well. And they not only attain the type of degree or the same level of degree that their parents earned before, but they go to that next level and earn an advanced degree. Whereas those whose parents didn't go to college may go to college and they probably finish, but based on how the GPAs come out, it shows that there's a little bit of a harder time because they don't have anyone at home that can speak to what challenges a student can face in their college matriculation. What's it saying? What it's saying is that the work you do today is not for yourself. The work you do today is for those who are coming. Not just the young, but also those that you interact with who are sitting back watching to see what is this Christian thing all about. So what, they go to church. What does that mean? It's modeling for others what it means to be committed, so that when they come, they know what they're getting themselves into. I would venture to say some of us have been spinning our wheels for a long time, trying to figure out what this whole thing is all about. We show up on Sundays, we might feel good for a little bit, and then we like, okay, now what? We've been trying to figure it out. The church we are today, 30 years from now, should be a better church than we are today. Those who are coming up behind us should exceed what it is that we're able to accomplish. Not because of having more monetary resources, but because their commitment to Jesus Christ will be at a different level. We're prepping for the future. But that only happens if you start today.